Hello everyone, and in this video we're going to be looking at combining algebraic fractions. Okay, in our previous video we looked at simplifying. Now we're going to be looking at combining algebraic fractions. So first of all, the first thing to say is, we'll look at these two questions here. The first thing to say is you need to factorize all of the various elements in the denominators in order to be able to establish what a common denominator might be for these. So let's have a look at what we've got here. So first of all, the first one doesn't require any factorization. That's fine. That's 1 over x minus 3. Then what have we got here? The next one we can take out a factor of x from this, leaving us with x minus 3. And then from the next one, this can factorize. We're looking for two numbers that are going to times together to make positive 9, but are going to add together to make minus 6. So that's going to factorize it into x minus 3 times x minus 3. So the first step is just to factorize the various components. So having factorized those components now, we're going to think about what could possibly be our common denominator. Sometimes in my experience, this is the sticking point with this particular topic. This is where some students just find it that little bit tricky to visualize what's going on. Well, we know that we've got x minus 3 and x minus 3, so it needs to have x minus 3 squared in. So we look at each component and think, that this one's got an x in as well. So therefore, a good candidate for us to be aiming for is x minus 3 squared times by x, because it has to include all of the elements that are present. So we've got x minus 3 and x minus 3 in this one, so it has to have x minus 3 squared in. But we've got an x in this one, so it has to be x times x minus 3 squared. Having done that, most students now are okay with the next step, because the next step is just simply to multiply each fraction by the bit that it is missing. Okay, so we're going to multiply each fraction by the bit that it is missing. So this first one, we're aiming for this. It's missing an x minus 3 and an x. So we're going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by x minus 3 times x, because that's what it's missing to make it x times x minus 3 squared. The next one, it has an x minus 3. It's missing an x minus 3. So we're going to times the numerator and the denominator of this one by x minus 3. And note, you have to times the numerator and denominator by the same thing in a fraction, because if you don't do that, you change its value. Okay, so hence that's why we're timesing the numerator and the denominator by x minus 3 there. This one is just missing the x. So we're going to times the numerator and the denominator by x. So bringing all that together now, what have we got? We have got x times by x minus 3 over x times by x minus 3 squared. That's that one. And this one, we have got 3 times by x minus 3 all over x times x minus 3 squared. And then finally, that's a plus there. Finally, for this one, we've got x squared over x times x minus 3 all squared. So there we go. We've multiplied them all. We've brought them all together. So now it's time to collect like terms, to add the fractions together. They've all got the same denominator now, so they can all be combined into one single fraction. So this is x times by x minus 3 plus 3 times by x minus 3 plus x squared all over x times by x minus 3 all squared. Then we just expand the brackets and we simplify, collect like terms. So we end up here with x squared minus 3x plus 3x minus 9 plus x squared all over x times by x minus 3 squared, which is going to simplify into x squared add x squared is 2x squared, plus 3x and minus 3x cancel out with each other, and we have minus 9 over x times by x minus 3 all squared. Now, it's worth pointing out at this point that sometimes if you have a question and it says simplify fully, you have to be careful and you have to ask yourself, does this numerator factorize further into something that could potentially cancel out with the denominator? Now, that's not the case in this particular situation here. There isn't anything that would cancel out further with a denominator. So this is our final answer in this particular question. However, you do need to be careful, and you do need to think to yourself, is there another factor in here that could potentially be there that is going to cancel out with the denominator further? So just be aware of that one. Okay, just one last one, because I think in these particular videos where we're learning these three skills, we'll do a couple of questions for each one. So our second one, we've got 1 over x squared minus 1 over 3x squared minus 2 plus 3 over 6x minus 4. Okay, so there we are, 1 over x squared minus 1 over 3x squared minus 2x plus 3 over 6x minus 4. Okay, so again, we're going to do the same process. This one, we can't really factorize the first term. It's already as it is. We can take a factor of x out of the first one. So we've got 1 over x times by 3x minus 2. The third one, we can take out a factor of 2, I would say. So we take out a factor of 2, and that gives us 3x minus 2. So we've got to look and think, what about our elements of our denominator going to be? Well, we've got an x squared here, so it has to have an x squared in it. We've got a 3x minus 2 here, so there has to be a 3x minus 2. We've got a 2 here, so there has to be a 2 in it. So that's the denominator that we're aiming for, having looked at the various elements of all three individually. So now we're going to multiply each fraction by the bit that it is missing. This one is missing the 2 and the 3x minus 2. So again, we have to multiply the numerator and the denominator so as not to change the value of the fraction. This one is missing an x and a 2. So we have 2x that we're going to times that one by. And this last one is just missing the x squared. So we're going to times that one by numerator and denominator by x squared. Okay, that's perfect. So let's now combine the write out what we've got. In fact, actually, if it's okay with you, because we've got the same denominator now for all of them, I'm going to go straight to the step where we combine them. So we've got 2, which would be fine to do, by the way, in the exam as well. You wouldn't lose any marks for going straight to this step. So we've got 2 times by 3x minus 2, and then we've got, be careful, there's a minus there, minus 2x plus 3x squared. That whole thing is over our new common denominator, which is 2x squared times by 3x minus 2. So there we go. Now it's time to expand the brackets and collect like terms. So 2 times 3 is 6x. That's going to be minus 4 minus 2x plus 3x squared over 2x squared times by 3x minus 2. Now, 6x take away 2x is 4x, so we have 4x there. And we've got plus 3x squared. Okay, we have a plus 3x squared, and we have a minus 4, all over 2x squared times by 3x minus 2. Now, this is something that, again, that I mentioned earlier on in the video. We've got to be really careful about this now, because what we've got to ask ourselves is, does this numerator further factorize in a way that is going to cancel out with some element of the denominator? So we need to see whether or not the numerator is in fact going to cancel. So it's potentially rainbow split time now. So we've got 3x squared plus 4x minus 4. Now remember, I'm just showing us this algebraic method here, which I've called rainbow split, or is rather I've heard is called rainbow split, because this could come up for Edexcel students on a non-calculator paper. If you are doing it for IGCSE or you're doing it for A-level, you can just plug these into your calculator and just like reverse engineer the brackets. Okay, that would be perfectly fine to do. But let's do it this way. So 3 times minus 4, two numbers at times together to make minus 12, but add together to make 4. So a possible factor pairing has got to be something to do with 6 and 2, perhaps plus 6 and minus 2. Plus 6 times minus 2 does make minus 12, and plus 6 add minus 2 does make plus 4. So that's our correct factor pairing. So we're going to split that. Let's put the 3x squared. Let's put the plus 6x there and minus 2x there. Now we're going to factorize that and factorize that. So we can take out a factor of 3x here, leaving us with x add 2. Take out a minus 2 here, leaving us with an x plus 2. These two match, so we know that that's correct. And whatever's written in front is the other bracket. So we've got 3x minus 2 times by x add 2. So let's include that now. So our numerator has factorized into 3x minus 2 times by x add 2 all over 2x squared times by 3x minus 2. And we can see it was really worthwhile doing that because now actually there is an additional factor there that cancels, leaving us with our final answer of x plus 2 over 2x squared, which we cannot do any further simplification on, and therefore that is our final answer. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. That was just a couple of questions on combining algebraic fractions. In the next video, I'm going to move on to solving algebraic fractions.